Hi everyone, I'm just, my thing doesn't want to sit still. Stay. I'll just wait for, do it this way. So, more rent declines. Sophie recently moved house. Let me give you a bit of a backstory here. So, Sophie was made homeless in the Hinkler region, right? Because she was living in a nice 3-bedroom Queenslander, minding her own business, doing a disabilities course with an opportunity to get work, right? But when the cashless debit card came in, they wouldn't let her pay rent. She was 5 meters from the boundary of the electorate. No, you can't pay your rent. You can't pay your rent. So she had to give up that property. She also had to give up all the job opportunities, right, and leave the region because she couldn't get a house. Being on the Indu card, she couldn't get it. Being a single mum with a newborn baby, no. So off she went to Victoria. Now, over the past several months, living in Victoria and having to pay a lot dearer rent on a little 2-bedroom unit, she ended up with rent declines, but she made it up out of her own cash and everything. And she got the opportunity to rent her grandmother's house. Now, this is an opportunity for her and her child to have long-term, stable, safe housing for long term, right? But her grandmother was skeptical that she might not be able to pay the rent. Well, guess what? They stuffed her around during the move. Unlike she said in her last live that she did a few weeks ago, she had $7,000 on the card, but she couldn't pay rent. She needed to pay some arrears payments to the previous owner because there was a gap in the lease from when it ended and when her new lease was starting with her grandmother's house, right? And they wouldn't let her pay it. They wouldn't let her transfer it. Just kept declining. So she got herself into the house. She got moved. It's not even a month. Rent's declining already, right? She sent me a message this morning with a screenshot. They won't let her pay her rent. So she's been on the phone to them, and now she's got to wait and do all the stuffing around. Now, this is ridiculous. This is now impacting the grandmother because she can't pay her mortgage. Hello? How many more owners and landlords and grandmothers and parents that are trying to keep their kids housed, right, are going through this? Now, we've just seen the department answer Marcus Paul with a load of absolute lies. And I'm getting sick of the lies. And the only way we're going to counter the lies is I'm going to say this straight out right now. If you want a cashless debit card, you need to speak up. You need to speak up, make a video like I've done, send it to us, say, right, they put me on the card, I'm in this region, this, and this has happened to me, this has caused this to happen to me. Because the general public need to know that you're out there suffering in silence. And we shouldn't be suffering in silence. You should be screaming from the rooftops. Okay? You need to stand up, people. People that are on the card need to speak out. Right? Because people like Sophie and people like Mahalia, right, I'm sure there's more of you out there that need to have your voices heard. I'm sure there is. Right? And it's not... Don't sit there in silence and suffer and don't think it can't be changed. It can be changed if you all start standing up and speaking out. That's how you change it. If you all start making little videos about what your life's been like on the cashless debit card, or you write in the comments, or you send us a post, or you contact your federal senators, like in Queensland, you know, Larissa Waters or Anthony Chisholm. If you're in the Goldfields, you've got Rachel Seward and you've got Senator Sue Lyons, you know what I mean? If you're in South Australia, contact Senator Penny Wong's office. Or whoever the Greens, Senator Hanson Young in South Australia. That sort of thing. All right? I urge card holders to start speaking up. It is really important because the government are standing up there and calling you all liars. Now, there's got to come a point where enough is enough. I would not be tolerating being called a liar if the department was not letting me pay rent or buy food or access to things I need for my kids. I would not tolerate being called a liar, right? What's happening to me, I wouldn't stand for it. And you guys out there need to start standing up for yourselves and going, no, I'm not a liar. You did this to me because you put me on the cashless debit card and this is what's happened. It's not my fault that you did this to me. It's their fault. It's the government's fault. All right? So I really do urge people start standing up, because why should grandparents be at risk of losing their homes because Indu won't pay the damn rent to their own granddaughter living in the house, and that money is for the mortgage on that property, right? And grandma was trying to do something nice to make sure that her granddaughter and great-granddaughter, right, have a safe standard of living long term. And Indu and Services Australia, she hasn't even been in a month, and buggering it all up and making sure grandma can't pay her mortgage. That's not success, Anne Ruston. That is just pure bloody evil. Okay? Calling Mahalia a liar, saying she can't buy food when we have video evidence of it. This government is a master. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. The bushfires didn't happen. He was sitting on a beach in Hawaii. I don't hold a hose. It didn't happen. Climate change. It doesn't happen. All right? Old age care deaths. They don't happen. Robo-debt. It didn't happen. How many more it doesn't happen does this government get away with? All right? And we know it's happening. But they're going, no, it's not happening. It's a figment of your imaginations. All right? They're using Goebbels' bloody propaganda, and it's not good enough. If you don't like being on the card, and you don't like being in arrears with your rent, and you don't like being declined, and you don't like having problems with it, speak up. Stand up and speak up. I've got parents that will come out and speak up on behalf of their kids. I would like more of that, please. Speak up. Speak up. Because at the moment, right, you know, this is getting ridiculous what they're putting people through. So Sophie's just come in and she said, this is not okay. I was hoping to buy this house when I return to work. Right? This is Sophie's, you know, grandma's house. She was hoping to buy the house when she goes back to work. The point where they told me it was not okay to record their calls when every single call is recorded by them. You know what I mean? It's not fair. It's not a double standard all the way through. But they're putting this person's grandmother at risk of losing the home by not being able to pay her mortgage and costing her default fees. We've seen this before, right? We've seen it over and over and over again. It's not good enough, and it's got to stop. The card has to stop, but I need more card holders to come out. There's over 6,693 people in the Hinkler region alone. Right? I encourage every one of you that have been put on the card, that have been on the card for the last 2 years, right? Speak up. Speak up. Because it's not okay. This is not okay. Sitting in silence is not going to stop this. It's going to enable the government to roll it out further. Because if people don't speak up, people don't stand up for themselves, you're still Australians. And I would like to hear from more landlords too that have been impacted. All right? Anybody who's been impacted or left out of pocket or suffered damages as a result, indirectly or directly, as a result of the cashless debit card coming into the region. We want those stories. We want people to come and tell us what's going on. But I really do encourage card holders to make a short video and say, right, since being put on the cashless debit card, this happened to me, this happened to me. It's taken me this long to fix this. Right? Because it's just getting ridiculous how many people out there, how many kids are missing out. The impact on the children. Mahalia's children's education is being impacted. All right? Can't pay for daycare, can't pay for any of the school stuff. For the primary school age child. You know what I mean? That's impacting their education. Right? Sophie's got a young baby. the stress impact in the house is not good for a young baby. Tempest is the same sort of thing. All right? So many people, it's just going on and on and on. And I mean, we've got a lady who is about to be made homeless in WA, who is going through an absolutely traumatic time at the moment. And I'll probably have a talk about her again a bit later. She's going to ring me this morning. This is just ridiculous what they're doing. The pressure they're putting on people. Hang on, I had a phone call. I'll have to go. So I will come back to you guys later. But please, card holders, stand up. Start telling us your stories. Make some videos, okay? I have to go and take this call, and I'll come back later. See ya.